Second. Hi, folks. This is John with the Wingman115 Channel, and I'm here tonight with Andy Tran from InnerBark Outdoors and Justin from the Mr Leonidas YouTube channel. We're going to be doing a little show tonight talking about SHOT Show, maybe some knives, and a little bit of guns. So we're going to invite you to join in on the conversation on the YouTube side in the comment section. So don't be afraid to do a comment, do a statement, and maybe we'll read it on air. First, I'd like to introduce our guests. We can start with Mr. Andy Tran.
Oh, darn, I was hoping to go second. Andy Tran. I am from the InnerBark Outdoors channel. That's youtube.com/InnerBark Outdoors. I'm also the designer of the Tahoma Field Knife, and I have been doing YouTube I haven't kept track. But here I am with one of my good friends, John, and yeah, passing it on.
Cool. Mr. Justin, please introduce yourself to the guests.
All right. Well, I want to actually first and foremost say that this has been awesome just kind of chatting up with you fellas right now. So I hadn't actually got to talk to Andy in person, so this has been kind of neat so far. But basically, now I do remember when I started YouTube. It was back in 2011. And just started real low-key, just kind of having fun. And it just kind of took off from there. Extremely, a lot of variety on my channel, which you guys know. Which I pulled the name out of a hat. I like the movie. I got the pack there. You can't really, I'd say I'll move it up. I like 300, and I said, hey, let's go with some Leonidas, and it kind of took off from there. So just a lot. Just things I'm into, like the outdoors, and right now I'm a manager at a small knife retailer chain in Alabama, and it's been just kind of a really pleasant journey, and it's been awesome, meeting great guys like John and Andy, and just kind of learning everything from knives and firearms and beef jerky. It's been great. So, all right, John. So go ahead and take it, man. Let's see where it goes.
Cool. Well, we recently met at SHOT Show, and me being 5'6", I can't believe how many YouTubers out there are just a lot taller than me. But we were hanging out down at the VanQuest booth, and Justin came by. We had a chance to talk for a while, and it was really good to meet folks that we had talked to on YouTube back and forth in the comments section for a while. And what's kind of cool about it is it's not like you're meeting somebody for the first time. It was like we were just two old friends hooking up. Hey, how's it going? And there wasn't like these long introductions and stuff. It was really cool, and I really enjoyed the SHOT Show experience from my aspect. Would you like to share a little bit about your SHOT Show experience? This was your first one this year, and maybe what the pros, what the cons were, what you took away from it, and what you'd like to see maybe if you go again.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that works with me. And I guess the first thing I can say is Las Vegas in itself is completely out of my element, because I'm from Alabama, and it's pretty low key, except for, people around here are football fanatics. They like NASCAR. We do a lot of hunting out here. Gambling is illegal in Alabama, and so so first and foremost, being thrown into Las Vegas like that was already an eye opener. It was fun. It was neat. But as for the show, it was overwhelming. It was really neat. Actually, the main thing was just kind of walking around, and you would see a company, maybe, for example, I have a red dot on my SKS now. It's by Seymour, and I didn't even, some of these companies you weren't really thinking about, and you walk by and you go, oh, holy cow, that's the maker of the red dot that I really like, or whatever, or I did some video stuff with Lancer Systems, and they have my favorite AR style rifle magazines that I use. Love them, love the Lancer mags. And so it was really neat, just kind of getting, and like you were saying, John, about meeting the YouTubers, and it's like introduction. That was really neat, and it was, and just also getting with talking to people with these companies and going, oh wow, this is a product that I didn't even have on my mind, and I go, okay, well I use this, I use this when I go to the range, or I use this knife, and so that made it a really amazing experience. But there was just, almost every company under the sun, tactical firearms, knives. It was it was just overwhelming. So if I went again, I think I'd take it a little slower. I got a little overexcited and almost got burnt out. I mean, I was just booth to booth to booth, and your head's just shooting around. I mean, it's wild. But overall, it was really neat. It was definitely an experience, and I hope anybody like you guys, John and Andy, this is what you're into. And Andy, I know I remember first when your channel was getting bigger. I'd watch your shot stuff, and I was just like, man, that looks. I was jealous. I was like, man, that looks like a blast. Getting to see all the new stuff coming out that year. It was, man. It's awesome, and to see it firsthand, and man, just a really good experience. So that's what I got to say for now. But it was fun. It was fun, man, and meeting you in person, and a lot of these other YouTubers, just people you never thought. So yeah, enjoyable, man, enjoyable.
Yeah, I know that you're a big knife guy, and when I mean big knife guy, your channel features, like, you do a series on big knives.
Yeah, I like them. I get it done.
I'm sure folks are interested to hear if there was anything that kind of caught your eye in that sort of big knife category that you think would be a good find for somebody.
Okay. Actually, there were several, and I want to go ahead and let Andy know that I introduced the knife company I'm with, Two Tops Knives, and actually we've been carrying that Tahoma, and it's been a really good selling knife. There's been people asking for it. And I'm like, hey, I talked to that guy on YouTube. He's a really cool guy. And they're like, okay, well, he's got a really cool knife. So that's been really neat. So that's a big blade that is still pretty new to the market. That's been fun. But there's two that actually come to mind. The first one is both you guys know him, Oliver Hannon, and then Johnny Waste and Ty came up with the Lone Survivor Kukri survival knife, which is a pretty epic looking survival knife. Kukri has a sawback, very unique, very useful. Robert Young Pelton had the DPX heft, and I have a picture of that somewhere, but that is going to be one heck of a chopper coming up. I don't know if did you see that one, John? The heft.
Their table, I think, was right across the
battle
blades, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was so fixated, like, with their little Liberty EDC.
Yeah.
That I kind of lost track, and then we walked past, and it was like, oh, their booth was back there. But by then, the show's so big that you're like, oh my God, I don't know if I want to turn around and go back.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That sort of thing. It was just crazy. But yeah, I was checking out all the Battle Blade stuff because I'm also thinking about getting the one like you showcased to go on the AR.
Yeah.
And,
the Strike bar it's a really nice model. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and I know Ken from Prepare One. He went back and bought one for his AR. That he liked it so much. It was a nice looking blade.
That's awesome.
I think he went back on your recommendation when you showed it to him when we were at the VanQuest booth.
That's awesome.
Like, yeah, I got to go back and check that out.
Yeah, it's my favorite knife, or the most unique knife carry system. Which I've got my AR down here. I was gonna think about grabbing my SKS. I actually took the battle blade off this guy because it was just getting too heavy with this freaking 4-pound launcher. But by the way, this thing rocks, and I did a video on it.
What is that launch?
I've got a smoke round in here right now that I made. Let's see, and yeah, I've got the video up, man. Things daggone wicked, and I made these rounds.
Holy cow!
Yeah. Oh man. See, in Alabama, I mean, this is fair game, man. You know, the ATF, they don't, you know, even down here, that's not something you got to worry about. So, but
Well,
yeah,
see, we got wildfires in SoCal, so you got to be careful with what you do because
right?
it could burn at one time.
Yeah, I know. And see, down here, I mean, there's a lot of rain. I mean, we get a lot of rain. I mean, about every week we get some rain come through. It's very humid down here, so no worries.
Well, Andy's the rain and the tannerite guy, so
yeah,
that would be right up his alley right there.
That's right, man.
Yeah. I'm kind of jealous. I'm going to be honest. And is that like the you can get different munitions for that, or is that like the civilian version?
What I've done so far, now I don't know about the non-lethals, but with this this 37, I'd say I've got some flares, and I've made the smoke rounds, and it's been fun. I've been tinkering with different colored smokes. Haven't had a lot of progress, but I've made the white smoke. And I bought some kits from, oh gosh, let's see, who are they?
Are you just using like potassium nitrate and sugar, or are you using like?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's been a ton of fun. The only downgrade is this thing's pretty daggum heavy. I mean, it's about 4 pounds. But I've been using it for almost a year now and carrying it, running around, and I've really gotten used to the weight. But for some people who want to keep it light, yeah, this is not for you on the on the AR. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been a
pretty. How do you like the Magpul sights on there?
I like them because it's probably the lightest part of the gun, are the sights. So, yeah, I definitely like them. The reason I don't have a scope on top is I'm probably gonna get a nicer ACOG, probably a lightweight ACOG or something this spring. So SIG is supposed to be coming out with something that's an ACOG that has a better peripheral. So I might be waiting on that. You know, that's the only thing about ACOGs. It's real tunnel vision. So we'll see. We'll see, guys.
That's why you got to shoot with both eyes open, which is awkward for a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, yeah, which I do, but yeah, most people don't. They don't do that. Yeah, I agree.
Now I know that you and Andy both like to do camo jobs to your guns and your knives. You were showing me offline, and you've done a few videos on some of your camo jobs. You want to share one that you showed me earlier with the folks, and kind of maybe just give a brief description on how you did it?
Oh, let's see. Actually, I tell you what. Here, I can show that Mon Tactical one. I remember he Duracoated the Armageddon for me, and that was now I didn't do that. But that was beautiful. He did a beautiful job on that. Nice. Actually, Andy, I remember you did that snakeskin pattern on your shot.
Yep.
I remember that. Simple, sweet camouflage, and then you did. Let's see, use the leaves.
Yeah, I since redid that one. I set my rifle up now for like coyote hunting. So it's woodland, not woodland. I'm blanking here. It's a desert tan and then a brown with a grass pattern on it.
Okay. So. I like it. Well, I'd say I can go grab. I've got that sly steel sheath that I painted. So let me go grab that. I didn't get that with me.
If you guys aren't familiar with Justin's channel, Mr. Leonidas, he does a lot of camo jobs on his Kydex and things such as that, and he's a big Cryptek fan. If there's a lot of Cryptek fans out there, you're gonna really like this stuff.
Yeah, I don't think I showed it.
SHOT Show was like everywhere at SHOT Show this year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we love the Cryptek over there. That was good, but that was one I did about a year ago. That's my beefy, ridiculous. They don't even make the. Oh, get it, dog. They don't make these anymore. You guys seen this one before? The GG&G?
No, it looks like you could chop through a refrigerator with that thing.
Pretty much. It's a ridiculous piece of hardware, completely unnecessary, but it's pretty badass. And that was
about it.
And then
a lot of the gear in our kits is completely unnecessary, but it just has a cool factor.
Yeah, but there's that sly steel sheath, and that was done. I mean, that's just spray paint and stencil. That was a year ago, almost.
No, that's held up pretty good.
Oh yeah. I mean, for spray paint, I'd say so. And yeah, I mean, I definitely had a few. I'd seen a really good turnout on some of those videos, and I got a pretty good method down just for spray paint. So with that, especially Andy, I mean, with the stuff you were doing, it actually really helped me get started with a lot of that, man. So I gotta go ahead and thank you. You had some pretty good methods because you used, let's see, that primer layer. What was it called?
Adhesion promoter.
Adhesion promoter. Yeah, I actually got some of that and started using it, and then I got the clear coat finalized. I just got a really good system going, and I've gotten really effective with just spray paint. But I also want to let, I guess, everybody know that one of my brothers, I don't know if he's watching now, is that he's got a little channel called the Tenacious Z, and he got me a Duracoat kit for Christmas. So I will actually be trying to do some Duracoat this spring. Yeah, I'm excited. So it should be fun. It should be fun, guys.
Yeah, I need to start experimenting with some of that stuff, especially my AR if I want to go out coyote hunting, because black just be a mile away. It's just crazy how much that it sticks out. Even if you just spray paint it, you know, coyote brown and be done with it, it'll break up those black lines like that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's a good skill to have. I mean, being able to camo your own stuff. Now, the prep work on that, did you have to use alcohol, paint thinner, whatever, to get all the oil and grease and stuff out of there? Or?
I actually use acetone now because it's similar to like an alcohol. It's it dries very quickly, leaves a good clean. Degreases it, leaves it dry, and then depending on what it is, I may sand a little bit. But any guy who's real serious about it, you know, who does Duracoat, Cerakote, you're right. That's a good question to ask. Is surface prep is like probably the key thing to getting it right, because if you don't have your surface prepared well, if it's dirty, if it's greasy, the paint won't adhere well at all. It won't last. It may last, you know, a month or something, and all your paint's gonna, you know.
Acetone doesn't bother Kydex? It won't bubble it or warp it? It won't do all that?
No, if you soak it, it might.
Do what now?
If you soak it, it might, but because that's what I use on my firearms to get all the grease off.
Yeah.
It'll melt your gloves, so you got to be quick with it. But I haven't had any issue with it.
Yeah, just put it on a rag. You know, just put it on a rag or a cotton ball and just wipe it down real quick. It pretty much just dissipates so quickly. But yeah, you're right, Andy. I mean, if you soaked it in it or in a paint thinner, you know, it would probably affect it. But yeah, it's a really good way to clean surface area on firearms in general. If you want to get rid of the grease or grime, yeah, acetone works pretty good.
Hey, anything that will melt a glove is my book.
Yeah. Well, like the first time I started using it, I was like basically racing the clock, kind of like when you have that biodegradable toilet paper in the field.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of gotta use it as fast as possible before, you know, all hell breaks loose.
Before it self-destructs.
Yeah, and then you're in a real pickle. That's pretty much what it's like.
That's funny.
Now, at SHOT Show, Justin, I know that you met a character from The Walking Dead.
Yeah, yeah. Which it was Michael.
Share a little bit of that and who he was and maybe what conversation you might have had with him.
Yeah, it was which I didn't even realize. Yeah, it was Michael Rooker, and he's was also from Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know if you guys watched that flick.
Mm-hmm.
But he was the blue guy. I don't remember his name. It was kind of a strange name, but he had some kind of he was pretty much a badass in that movie. But he was a really cool guy. Actually, I think he's from Alabama, from what I recall. And he was just like, yeah, man, let's get a selfie.
Cool.
He was a really cool guy. Yeah. Yeah, I was really in.
When I saw your post, I was like, "Oh man, Merle's here from The Walking Dead." So the next couple of days, the head was on a swivel. I'm like trying to meet him. Then they go, "Oh, Steven Seagal's here, and the head's on a swivel." And
did you see him? I didn't see him. there.
Now he could have been a row away from us, and we not even know it.
You would have never known. Yeah.
But it would have been cool to meet Steven Seagal and get it. I wanted to see what Steven Seagal carries for an EDC.
His bare knuckles.
He'll probably just show his hands.
Yeah, because whenever he needs a gun, he just takes it from his assailant and then kills his entire crew with it. So that's kind of how that works.
Pretty much. But yeah, there were definitely, because when I was there, you just forget, you're in Las Vegas and you're at the SHOT Show, and you forget some of these guys, whatever, they like guns. So, hey, they're going to be at the show. That was kind of neat, Which, oh, go ahead, John.
I'm a big fan of that show, Ultimate Survival Alaska on Nat Geo, and two guys from the military team was there, and I was like, man, I wanted to meet those guys too.
Oh, okay. I did not actually watch that show. Pretty good one.
Oh yeah, it's still on. They're on like leg 3 or 4 right now. But it's basically they're dropped off at an LZ, and they have 4 teams, 3 people on each team. They have 40 to 60 miles to their exfil location, and they got to get there on 2 pounds of beans and rice and whatever they have on their back. Wow. In Alaska with grizzly bears and all sorts of stuff running around. So it's pretty fun. I'm trying to get Andy and me on that show as the lower 48 so we can give those Alaskans a run for their money.
You guys
that'd be good.
Yeah, be cool. So, Andy, let me ask you now, what Washington State? Is that where you do most of your
yeah. As long as I'm not traveling, I do a lot of stuff everywhere if I can. Because even if I'm doing a little bit of traveling, like to West Virginia or something like that, I'll bring like a small camera system, and I might crank out a video or something like that. But yeah, Washington State is generally where I'm at for the most part.
Well, the reason I asked now, because I know it looks like an extremely, it looks just really wet out there. That's what I was gonna say. I mean, because Alabama is hot and humid most of the year. But it's not like, I don't know, it's not from what I've seen. It's like not quite as like rainy. I mean, it can be rainy through here, but it looked pretty different up there, man. Up in the up northwest there.
Yeah, I mean it's not that wet. There's definitely other parts of the country that get way more rain than we do. We just get it, kind of consistently throughout the year.
Yeah.
But my trip down in Colombia, that's the wettest I've ever seen anything because nothing dries.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because it's always raining, it's because the humidity is like 99%. It was pretty crazy.
Wow.
And totally different down here. Over 300 days of sunshine, and we're lucky if we get about 8 to 10 inches of rain a year. So,
wow.
I mean, we're in a severe drought. Like Vegas is in a severe drought, and they're just going through water like crazy out there.
Yeah, I heard that. Actually, John, I don't know if I think I told you we went and toured the Hoover Dam while we were out there, and they were telling us it's like a continual loss of water every the past. I think they said 5 years they've been down. It just keeps going down every year. So that was kind of scary news, actually. One of those things.
Oh, they're at the point now in, I think, either Lake Mead or Powell where they have to drill for underground aquifers or else they're going to run out of water in less than 10 years.
Wow.
So for all the folks that are preparedness-minded, that's something that we got to think about because, like I was telling Justin off air, there's about 20 million people here in SoCal between Santa Barbara and the Mexican border. And if the water gets shut off, it's going to be a hurt locker out here for us, unless we can figure out a way to drink seawater real quick.
There are some ways. I've seen some systems on TV of like mass, saltwater reverse osmosis plants, but they don't come cheap.
No,
not at all.
So yeah, it's for the folks out there that are watching where you live, where water just basically grows on trees. I mean, out here, if you wash your car, $500 fine.
What?
It's that serious that
Wow.
they don't want you wasting water, that precious resource now.
So how do you clean it? Do you just like wipe it with a cloth or something?
Take it to a car wash.
Yeah, I guess so. They recycle theirs.
Yeah.
What if you like ShamWow all the drainage that comes off of your car?
You can ShamWow it, but don't be like the ShamWow host that got caught with the hooker, then the hooker beat him up.
Yeah, I remember that. Could you use a tough cloth, do you think, Andy? What do you think, man, on your car?
Oh, there's some really cool stuff that like repels water. I want that on my truck so that the water just beads off. It'd be amazing.
Andy puts REM oil on his truck.
No, don't tempt me. I might actually do that. Aerodynamics just slips right through the air.
There you go. You know, that was funny is I saw a photograph of somebody that had like a Toyota 4Runner or something that was driving up in Alaska, and they duct taped cardboard along all the fenders and the sides of their vehicle so the rocks didn't ding their vehicle.
Oh, wow.
And I'm thinking, man, after that, with all that tape stickies on there, you're going to have to go Goo Gone over the whole 4x4.
It's just kind of stupid, that's all.
Crazy.
So the moral of this is it's a 4x4. Use it.
Yeah.
Man.
Now, do you do any off-roading down there in Alabama?
I used to. Now I run a Toyota Camry, and I basically I'll drive to work. I'll drive to go hiking and places. But no, I would like to get some kind of I'd like to get a Jeep. I'm really jealous. Anytime I watch any of your Jeep videos, there's a pain in there. I'm hurting, man. All that mud everywhere. But there's a lot of it in Alabama. Used to do a lot on four-wheeling. Four-wheeling is pretty big out here. Especially in the mud, and a lot of guys use it for hunting, to get to areas. But no, I'm jealous, man, of that Jeep of yours, and so Andy, you drive a truck too. That's pretty nice, but I'm doing my economy car for now.
The truck's pretty nice for carrying guns and stuff.
Yeah, so I got a lot
especially nice during the academy.
Yeah. I actually, how much longer do you have in the academy up there?
I get out end of April, and then I am free to do whatever I want. But I have 3 years to get my first commission, or else I have to take the academy again.
Cool.
So, should be fun.
Well, you better save a week for SHOT Show next year. We're gonna blitz it.
Oh no, it's totally going to be saved because the season, is going to be from like whatever to whatever holiday. So it's only going to be during the hot months when people are actually using the national parks mostly. So, good to go.
So you're only going to work like 2/3 of the year? Is that how it's going to go for you, or?
About 5 months out of the year, so a little less than half.
Wow. And so it's a commission based. You're saying? I didn't know that.
Well, the commission refers to whether or not you have arrest authority and you carry a gun. So technically, I'll be a federal agent doing stuff, warrants and that sort of thing. Actually, no, I don't think I'll be doing warrants unless I'm directly supervised under a Type 1 commissioned officer. But yeah, it'll be pretty fun. I'll get my commission 1 later on down the road.
Hey, okay. Justin Woolley says Duracoat the cars and trucks.
I want a Cerakote. I'm gonna try Cerakote.
Actually, my girlfriend was gonna kill me, but I was talking to her seriously about Cryptek Typhon, my Toyota Camry, and it didn't go over too well. She was, but I was really wanting to at least put some panels on there, man, because I don't do the Typhon, but for urban, beautiful. Yeah, I mean, it would be too cool, man. But I couldn't.
Man, on that bad boy.
Rattle can.
Heck yeah, that would look awesome. Yeah, but then if you Instagram it, Cryptek might come at you for copyright infringement or something.
Just change it 10%.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now they'd probably love the advertisement.
Mm-hmm.
They even had Cryptek like freaking dive suits that were blue at SHOT Show. That one blew me away. I'm like,
No pun intended.
Cryptek was everywhere.
Blew you away. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Actually, John, or both you guys, Andy and John, if you check out the Cryptek website, there's about 12 different patterns that they don't widely use. And I saw the blue one one night. I was checking it out. They had some crazy name for it, but it was pretty cool looking stuff. That's for sure, man. It's pretty neat.
My new backpack is Cryptek, but I'm an ATAX kind of guy.
ATAX.
Yeah.
I still have I have some BDUs in the FG. There you go. There you go. That was one of my YouTube buddies out there. If he's watching, it's Mon Tactical.
Dodging the balls.
Yeah. Well, I had this. I'm still in my live show, so.
Oh. I don't know what that means.
Oh, you want to say hi to all the people on the internet?
Yeah, let's put them on there.
Here's a fellow cadet. Don't say your name.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, everybody.
He will just be known as Anonymous. I don't want anyone tracking him down. I actually like this guy. So.
Cadet X.
Good luck with the live show, man.
You get the Andy Tran seal of approval.
Who won? Was it squad against squad?
It was a monkey versus football.
Okay, good to go.
This is live, folks. We can't make this stuff up here.
Oh man, but I thought that was pretty cool, John. When I saw you had finally went over the other side and you started trying some Cryptek, I was really happy to see that.
My wife's not, because I have a closet just full of ATAX, multicam, Woodland, and yes, the dreaded ACU that the Army's phasing out. My wife's like, no, you're not buying more camo. I draw the line. You're not. And I was like, well, I kind of have this hat. And she's like, no, you're not buying any more camo. I'm like, yes, dear, I'm not buying any more camo.
Hey, Andy, can you elaborate on your ATAX fetish there? I'd like to hear about it.
Wow, it all started. No, I just their desert ATAX is pretty darn spot on, especially for the region that I'm in the Eastern Washington. And then I really just like the look of their woodland pattern.
Oh, you like the foliage green, the FG stuff?
Oh yeah, that shit is sexy. I'm definitely digging it. But yeah, I mean, overall, I just kind of like it. I think they came out with like an urban one.
Yeah, it was like a police-based kind of ATAX.
Yeah.
So, which looks badass.
Although honestly, plainclothes police officers blend in way better than urban camouflage.
Well, I was talking to I think his name is Brent118. I think he does a lot of camouflage testing videos, and he was talking about the urban camouflages are really just for intimidation anyway.
Yeah.
Just it's like shock troop kind of thing. You know, you come out rolling out with your urban Cryptek Typhon stuff. You know.
If I'm gonna scare someone, I'm just gonna like wear someone else's skin over my face. I mean, if you want to intimidate someone, that's what you do.
that would do it right there.
It would. I mean, what's more intimidating, wearing urban camouflage or wearing the face of your enemy? I'm gonna say wearing the face of your enemy, just because it's that's some psychotic stuff.
It's pretty intense, man.
Now, I'm a multicam fanboy through and through, and multicam Arid looks pretty damn good, by the way. But this works really well in the coastal areas and near the desert.
Mm-hmm.
The ATAX Arid works really good, and then multicam up in the mountains, the Pine area, works really cool up there.
But when it comes to solid colors, I'm all about the Coyote Brown. Mm. But the thing about Coyote Brown is that manufacturers have different definitions of what they call Coyote Brown, so I got like 50 shades of shit.
Yeah, it gets pretty. Same with OD green. I mean, there's 100 different shades of OD green everywhere you go. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. So, John, let me ask you: was there a little bit, just to jump back a little bit on SHOT Show, and then we can keep on running? But I was kind of curious, what was the main thing? Now, you went and talked to Kelly at Battle Blades, and you got your little that EDC knife, the Liberty. Was there any other big? I mean, what was something at Shot Show that really caught your eye, actually, besides Battle Blades?
Well, I was there with Ken, and he was looking at stuff for his store in regards to like first aid, first responder stuff. So I had a chance to see a lot of things like that's coming out for 2015. Some really cool stuff. I know that he also partners with VanQuest, and I've done a few reviews for VanQuest, so I was invited to their booth to do like a video showcase. They have a couple packs that I would really like to get my hand on. One was called the Prototype F. If you go to my VanQuest video from SHOT Show and check that out, it's 3 panels. You pull it down. One could be a first aid. Pull it down the next, you could have your concealed weapon in there, and then the next one, pull it down, it could be your gear. And it's all in a nice, small, compact backpack. As far as blades, I think the sleeper at the show, dude, was the Lone Survivor from Sly Steel Knives.
Pretty cool knife, yeah.
There's only one other knife I got all giggity about, and that was Andy's when it first came out. Yeah. And that knife, I like it. I can't wait to test that out. And the folders that they had, the Brothers of Bushcraft and the Tex Creek folders, I really want to get my hands on those two knives as well. Cool. I was really, well, shoot, Tops had a whole table of new stuff that was coming out, so it was like sensory overload for eye candy of all the good, cool stuff that was coming out this year. But
they had a lot.
Those 3 knives really stood out.
Well, cool, man.
And all the new flashlights coming out. You know, there was some really cool companies. There's one called Army Tech that made like this one that's like 90 degrees. That's like a little lipstick size flashlight that puts out just an ungodly amount of lumens. You know, hopefully I'll be able to test something like that out too for the folks. And then meeting people like Joe Flowers. I mean, just crazy. So it was a fun time.
Yeah, pretty neat.
Really easy for someone to get starstruck at SHOT Show, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I went down and I talked to Joe, and I go, hey, you want to shoot a booth about the Condor line? And he goes, yeah. He goes, how do you want to do this? You want to be silly? You want to have fun? You know, what do you want to do? I go, let's just be ourselves and have fun. And we were just grab-assing around before we started shooting video. He crawls underneath the table and comes out of like underneath this curtain, and he's like jumping out. Who else is going to do that at SHOT Show? Yeah. You know, most people were like matter-of-factly, you know, little SHOT Show bots. And it was nice to see somebody joking around, having fun, engaging, and it was just a darn good time. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. Yeah, it was fun. Let's see. So we talked about. We talked about a little bit about knives. We talked about camo. We could talk about air guns because I'm still not. I'm not the guru on that. That's for sure. Actually, what about you, Andy? You an air gun user?
I have an air gun in my possession that I've been shooting since I was like 4 years old, and that gun is like a 1,000 foot per second gun. And when I was little, I couldn't even cock the darn thing. Like my dad had to do it. So that's the only air rifle I have now. But John's making me want to get, you know, like a 22 or something like that, so I can go rodent hunting, and maybe a 50 cal so I can go boar hunting, and I don't know.
Well, you're in luck because this year it was the year of the big bore for air guns.
Yeah, but no one knows me for air guns, so the chances of me being able to get one for testing and evaluation, very slim. But you know, if those things are anything like shooting a long range rifle, I think I'll be I'll be all right.
Now, Schmoley asks if we checked out any of the guns at SHOT Show.
They have these new guns. They're called AR-15s. Have you heard of those?
No, I don't. I don't have any of that. I don't do that.
Let me guess. AR-15s aplenty this year.
Well, I was going to say I really like the Chris Vector booth, the Chris USA, because they did they put a little AR butt stock on the little, and I really wish I had one. I love the little Chris Vectors because I got hooked on the. I thought the design was cool, but they, it was a little pistol or sub gun that shot 45, and it was it's a newer design on the 45 caliber because the old Tommy gun, the Thompson, was a beast, since World War II, and it's awesome to see another good, modern 45 caliber, pistol or carbine like that's really neat. And they made a new barrel shroud for it, and it had a really neat adjustable AR butt stock, and I was really excited to see that. But I don't know. There was just so much at SHOT. You'd look at so much gun stuff, and everybody had a new grip out or a new mag. Magpul had all kinds of. They're doing Glock mags now. I mean, Magpul's doing everything. AK furniture. I mean, every booth they all had something new. Right, John? I mean, everybody I saw was just pumping out all kinds of crazy, cool technologies.
I mean, parts kits for 1911s. I mean, it was just
everywhere.
And then, like we talked about last week, the Glock booth where the buzz was, are they going to release the single stack, 9 or not? And of course they didn't. But
the one was a 380, didn't they?
Yeah, but the highlight of the Glock booth was Arlie Emery was over there.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Michelle Viscuzzi, if you watch Top Shot, she was there, and she's a very good shot. Mass respect to Michelle Viscuzzi. She is a damn good shot. I was hoping that there would have been some archery stuff there, but I guess it was that wasn't the show for it. But
yeah, I didn't see much archery. Mm-mm.
I know. I'm dying to get up where Andy is, so him and I can go bow fishing.
You're welcome
anytime. I'll bring my swim trunks because I'll probably have to go swimming for my arrow.
Mm-hmm. Let's just not do that in the winter.
Wow. It gets yeah, that bow fishing looks like a ton of fun, man. Really. There's a lot of people who do it in Alabama, but I don't know, man. We don't. What kind of fish were you getting out there again?
Carp. Yeah.
Okay. We got a lot of bass down here, man, but it's hard to find them like carp that I don't even know if they're around this area. But it's a lot of bass, a lot of catfish down here. So
catfish would be hard to bowfish for, I imagine. But
yeah,
if you can get them near the surface, you're good to go.
Yeah, they don't come up.
There's a lot of talk on here about knife sharpening, and since we have a guy that works at a knife shop, maybe tell us what you use to sharpen your blades.
Okay, that actually it's a really good question because a lot of people do come in the store, and it's top 5 questions. That's in that category. I mean, it's always a common question. And John, I was asking about that workshop earlier because I use a Ken Onion work sharp for the store right now. We're probably going to get, because I think it's right now, and it's going for anywhere between, you can probably get online for $120, anywhere from about a 120 to 170 range. It's a really, for what you pay, and it's a really heavy-duty knife sharpener, and it uses different belts. And but what I tell anybody, if you don't like, I think the main concern with like the sharpeners like that is a lot of people think you remove too much material from the knife, which you can do that. You can, and I tell a lot of people that I see it happen all the time. People over sharpen their knives, and now I will say, Andy, I think you're probably more of an expert. I've seen you check things out microscopically. I haven't gone that far with the microscope or anything, but the Ken Onion model seems to get it done because it has, I think, 5 different belts you can use. Everything. It has like a fine, and you go up to a medium, then you have a coarse grit, you have a couple in between. And so if you just have like a small pocket knife, you can take them, and you got maybe some nicks or chips in the blade. You run your medium, smooth it down, then do your fine, and you get it done. And so that's one I can recommend. And if you want to keep it simple, and if you can keep your angle, use your old Arkansas whetstone or a diamond. I mean, those are. I mean, you go to Lowe's or Home Depot and get a sharpener there, $5-10, and it can get it done. But I really do like that Work Sharp. They're a pretty top company with the knife sharpening equipment this year. So, what about you, Andy? What have you been using for knife sharpening?
Easy Lap 510 and 530 sharpeners. That brings you from 400 grit past 1200, and then the ceramic.
Okay.
And I know John actually has a Work Sharp, and he has the Easy Laps for different applications.
I haven't used the Easy Laps. I'm pretty familiar with the Work Sharp. So what is it? Is that it right there?
Yeah. And Andy sells them on his website. I think you still do, right, Andy?
They're out of stock right now. Once I get them up, they'll be up and good to go. But
I mean, I didn't own one until I watched Andy's video, and I use a combination of all three. I use the Spyderco Sharp Maker.
Yeah, we sell those.
And I also use the Ken Onion, which is hiding in the background. And these, depending on what I'm sharpening. But my best investment was going to Tandy Leather and just getting a strop, which is smooth on one side, rough on the other, and then some jeweler's polish.
Okay. Yeah.
And then just stropping my blades. I mean, that just takes it to a whole new level. So.
Awesome, man.
It's definitely worth going out. I mean, you could use an old belt, would work just fine.
Yeah.
So I have a Tandy Leather that's a couple miles from the house, so I figured, hey, what the heck, and it just works really well. I like it.
And John, you bring up a good point about another thing that I tell people is a combination of different methods. And there's no set method. You can use natural stones, you can use diamonds, you can use belt sanders. I tell a lot of people it's whatever you're comfortable with using, and whatever you're good with. If some people have to use a pull through, when they go, like on their kitchen knives. If that's the only thing you're good at, and you can get the knife sharp, then I tell a lot of people, go for it. If that's what you're comfortable with. At the end of the day.
That's a good point, because I think a lot of us, whether you're in the bushcraft or the tactical or the shooting or the backpacking, we get stuck in a certain mindset and don't want to break out of that, because it's like the wolf pack mentality, right? We're running with the pack, and if we break away from that thinking, well, geez, Andy might not think I'm cool anymore, or things, the peer pressure. So people might be stuck in a certain way and don't want to expand their mind or learn something new. And, and some you're teaching bad habits to people too with that. Not saying that what we showed here was bad habits, but, there is a lot of bad habits. But if it, like you said, if it works for somebody, then that's their gig. If they can make it work, do it. But,
yeah, and I see that a lot. I see that in good and bad. Because it can be a double-edged sword, because some people they get stuck in a certain way, and then they're afraid to try a new method, which in some cases you may not need to you may not need to. Just simply, if you're getting your knife sharp and it's doing the job, then the question is, well, do you really need to move on to another method? But also, if you're getting that knife, if you can figure it out and get a good method, that's what I tell people. Stick with what you're good at, stick with what you know. If you're like, a lot of us guys on YouTube, we like to try new stuff. That's what that's what I was telling you. That's what my channel's about, is new and unique things like that. The Battle Blade knife system. I mean, you wouldn't believe how much negativity came from some of that. They're like, dude, why do you need a knife on your gun? They're like, it's so stupid. I'm like, what if you lost everything else and all you had is your rifle? You have a knife on your rifle. So I see nothing wrong with that. I mean, with the weight on it, you know, if you got one, John or Andy, I mean, if you got one of those battle blades, I mean, they're not that heavy. We're talking ounces here. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things, you know. People get too comfortable and they get afraid, and then it turns into, I don't know, you know, they kind of turn on other people for it. You know, I've seen that happen a lot too.
Well, it's unfortunate. Folks get the fanboy syndrome, and then they just can't break out of it because, like we said, they don't want to be, you know, classified as untactical. Whereas, you know, the only way you learn a lot of times is stepping outside of the box and trying new things, and even trying to learn some of the old ways. I mean, the old ways lasted a pretty long time, and it worked for a lot of folks. And sometimes just new and improved isn't always the best. Old and lousy worked pretty good for a lot of folks for a lot of years.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I don't know if you're running any blades on your rigs, Andy. I know that I had a bayonet video that I did for Charade that had I forget what the model is, M9 or something like that. That worked pretty good, but I mean, they've been putting blades on rifles for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden
to turn it into like a long range.
What's that?
Typically to turn it into like a longer reach edge weapon, but no, I don't have a battle blades, and that was actually one of the things I wanted to get. But with the price of them, right at this moment, with my huge income and my student budget and all that, I can't afford it. But no, it's been something I've been looking at since like last year or the year before when they came out. But yeah, they're pretty expensive, and I think a lot to do with the sheath, because the sheath is kind of high tech.
Well, I mean, when I was talking to Kelly at the show, Kelly Van Orden, because he's really appreciated. I've done a handful of videos for them, and I moved that knife from my tactical rig to my rifle to a drop leg. I can have that knife 3 different places around me, and I could have 3. I could move the one around. I move them around. I mean, it's a very versatile piece of hardware, and I've really enjoyed it so far. But yeah, I mean, and you're right, John. You know, as long as you're thinking outside the box, man, you know, it's always ahead of the game. Always ahead of the game, and that's how I've always looked at it. You know, some people get kind of hung up.
So with winter, we're going to be segueing out of winter probably pretty soon. Of course, down here in San Diego, it was 80 degrees today, so it really isn't like, quote, winter. But what plans do you have for your channel this spring, Justin, and maybe into the summer that you can share with folks?
Okay, well, and I'll let anyone know who's watching. I mean, on my channel, I do have I have a video. I think it was a 2015 update video, and that kind of lets people know what I'm going to be doing. Right now, I'm still wrapping up some of the video I took from SHOT, and then after that, it's going to be some knife. It's going to be a little bit of knife stuff, mainly knife stuff actually this year, since I'm really getting more into the knives than I ever have. It'll probably be I'll probably do some updates on some gear, probably a little gun stuff, but mainly going to be knife. That's for sure. Hopefully, you know, I'll probably do a review on the Kuma and the Slice Steel, the Lone Survivor. That'll probably be something that will be coming up. So, but yeah, it's going to be an exciting new year because, you know, especially John, talking to you, John, and Andy, and watching your videos, guys. I mean, it's going to be a good year, man, because I'm learning as I go, and it just gets better and better. So, actually, what about you, Andy? Do you have time to put more stuff out this year? I know you just got back from Amazon not too long ago. I remember.
Yeah. Well, I did a lot of pre-filming, so right now I'm just struggling to find time to edit those things together. I'm actually going to be putting out a video. What's that?
It's hard to find time to, like, you know, you can get it, because I do that too. You film stuff, and then you just try to fill it. You try to find time to fill that in and get your editing done and get all that. So yeah, I agree with you, man. It's difficult.
Yeah, because it's like I'm working like 50+ hours on any given week, because I have the law enforcement stuff, and then I have EMT, and then I just got finished with hazmat. So yeah, this is hard to find. But I'm going to be putting out a video today. Going to be really trying to get back on my schedule of doing one a week. But yeah, it's just been really tough. So after that, it just really depends on where my employment park is. But I've been talking to John about some of the plans that I have, and so when things get closer, I'll be announcing some stuff. But until I have at least my employment park figured out, I'm not going to tell too many people.
Yeah. Okay. It makes sense. If you don't have the time, you can't do it. So it's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. So,
Well,
John?
to give you a sneak peek, my wife and I have been talking about adopting Andy. And,
Okay.
and since my daughter's getting married and leaving the house, we're going to be empty nesters. So we figured that we would just adopt Andy and bring him into the house. And
Wow. Yeah. Hey,
I'm a good tax write-off. What can I say?
I need the write-off, Andy. I really do. Hey, one question? Can you, if you can talk about it? You talked about a little bit about the Ulu. Do you anticipate a release anytime soon?
You know, now that SHOT Show is over and Tops Knives is done with their kind of their big move, they moved buildings into a much bigger one. Now that stuff's kind of set up, yeah, there might be some talks to get that thing started up again. There was kind of a lull in all the talks and negotiations about it. With everything that's happened, both with Tops and myself, but it's I'm not talking to any other companies about it, so it's definitely going to be a Tops knife. When I'm hoping before summer, hoping. We'll see.
That's exciting.
Yeah, and I'm also working on a neck knife. A lot of people have been asking me about a shorter version of the Tahoma.
Love neck knife.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
And I'm working on a dagger unofficially for no one. So we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you've inspired me, Andy. I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna I may start working on some designs. I have, I don't know. I can't say anything yet because I've got some stuff I'm working on, but I don't know, man. You know, after you work with stuff in your hands for so long, you know, for years, you start to get a feel for what what you really, really like. I don't know. Maybe it's something I might have to jump into. It seems like you've done well with that Tahoma, man. It's a great design. Sorry I haven't got one yet. Actually, the ones we get in the shop, we've all sold, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Craig over at Tops Knives emailed me and he was like, yeah, like, you know, yours hasn't even been out for, 2 years yet, and it's already the 11th bestseller out of like the 300 models that they have. So.
Wow.
That's
awesome.
Pretty humbled by that. That was pretty crazy to hear.
That's going up against some heavy hitters too. The Brothers of Bushcraft, I'm sure they sold.
I'm sure that knife is way above my knife. I mean, everyone has a bob knife.
Yeah, I was gonna say in the store, we can hardly keep them in. Like during Christmas, that was the #1 Tops knife seller was the bob knives, and people love them. They love them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're cool little knives for bush, for whatever, even hunting. They're great little, you can skin a deer with one of those little knives. So, pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
Now there was a question here on the YouTube side for Justin. Folks want to know what sort of camera model you're running when you're filming out, doing your reviews and stuff outdoors.
Actually, I unfortunately don't have that awesome stuff that Andy uses because I was going to ask Andy, but I'm kind of afraid to because I have a feeling whatever Andy uses is way out of my budget. But I've been using a little cheapy. It was a Nikon. It was that one that Ashton Kutcher used. Was it? I can't remember what the model name. But it was a Nikon HD, and I actually use for a lot of my close-ups. I use a Nokia Lumina. I use this at the SHOT Show. And I think it's got like 20 megapixels HD. This phone, it has been awesome. I mean, what can I say? I mean, with modern technology, and this one, it actually beats out most Apple phones that I've seen, like compared to the the megapixels and the footage I get, and even the sound. So with the way things have came, I mean, it's really helped my channel out. It's just having a really nice camera phone, actually. But yeah, I was using some kind of cheap. It was like a $150 Nikon. It was like Smart Pix or something like that. Quick Pix. I can't remember exactly. How much you paid for yours, Andy? I'm kind of afraid to. Because I know you use some serious stuff, man.
Well, it depends. If I'm doing multi-camera shoots, I'm using my my larger Panasonic cameras.
Panasonic.
Collectively, I think I spent around 16,000 for them. The one that I took to the Amazon, the package probably cost me around 2,500. So it's not that much for that one, but the picture's fantastic and it shoots 4K. So
yeah, actually, Andy, I have a question for you about that 4K. So that's the next step from 1080p?
yeah, you get roughly 4 times more resolution than 1080 because it's 2 times larger, but that means that area-wise it's 4 times more resolution. So
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
All I
pretty.
know is when I try to process it from my GoPro, my 2009 iMac goes really slow.
Hey, John, tell me about that GoPro. Is that something it's still pretty new for you, actually?
I've had GoPros now for a couple of years. I started out with a Hero 2, and then I found a Hero 3 probably about a year ago when they were at Sam's Club, and they were practically giving them away. It shoots 4K, but then it's only like 15 frames per second in 4K, so unless you're doing a static shot of something, I mean, it would be really shaky. But shooting in 1080 at 60 frames, I mean, if you're using the GoPro Studio software, which they have a little plugin called Flux, which if anybody's ever played with a plugin called Twixtor for After Effects, like if you watch the video where I'm just with my Jeep plowing through water and then make it go slow and then speed it back up, that's what Flux does. So I'm trying to think now as I'm doing videos, hey, how can I incorporate maybe some of the eye candy stuff into that? But it's tough, you know. I was talking with Nut and Fancy about that at SHOT Show. You know, you got your real job. I'm a dad. I'm a husband. I mean, you gotta split that time plus the YouTube channel, or else it's just going to be me and the dog here at the house, and everybody's gonna leave me, right?
Yeah.
So when I go to the mountains and I shoot, it's like morning until dark, and I might shoot 3, 4, 5 videos to try to knock them out, and then, you know, maybe I don't take as long as I should on some of those, where I could maybe do side shots or more B-roll. And Andy and I have talked about this a lot of time off air, you know, but it's just a time management issue for me. If I did this full time, then yeah, I mean, we would go crazy town. Because with my Canon T3i, shoots very good video, but it's not a full frame DSLR, not like Andy's is. But for the price, I mean, a T3i now you can buy a body for a couple $100, and they've shot like feature film video with those cameras. I mean it.
Wow.
But like they've also shot feature film videos with like a cell phone. So it's all part of the content creator and how they're gonna incorporate whatever they have into their story that they're trying to tell.
Yeah, and
look at Blair Witch Project. Nobody would have thought Blair Witch Project. You know, they filmed that Andy, under 50 grand?
something. I still can't watch those movies though because they make me sick with all the shakiness.
But it's just crazy. I think the idea, and like we talked about before, good audio is the key.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
I don't have that now. Luckily, this phone here picks up pretty good audio. Now, if it didn't, I'd probably be in trouble. I'd have to probably go ahead and get a microphone. And I know the next camera I get, I think I'm going to get some kind of, I think I'm going to get a Sony. Oh, dang, that looks nice.
Yeah, these things are handy if you're looking to get some audio. You got to sync it, so if you know how to sync, then you're good to go. But John has a similar version to this, I believe, right?
I have the entry-level model, the Zoom H1. You can get them for in the $90 range, and for doing voiceovers, recording concerts, stuff like that, I mean, it's going to be more than you need. You know, if you're doing the stuff Andy's doing, I mean, you could watch it on Nat Geo. It's that good. His resolution and story, you know. But for the average YouTuber, a Zoom H1 would be more than enough, and it fit right in your budget, under $100.
So it's just a microphone setup? Is that what we're talking about here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That you can plug in. I plug it into my iMac to do voiceover through iMovie.
Yeah, just plug it into the USB, and
Yep.
it recognizes it as a microphone.
Okay. I'll probably have to look into one of those. Well, I'm thinking of getting like a Sony Action Cam next. I mean, I don't know. That's been a thought for me to get something a little more rugged. I had a rugged one when I first got started, but I don't know, it was a Kodak or something, and it just didn't have the quality I was looking for. So I don't know. I'm thinking about getting it. The Sony looks similar to the GoPro, the Sony Action Cam. So I don't know. Maybe a thought.
Look at frame rate and probably the resolution. Well, they're all probably going to start shooting 1080. The GoPros now, if you get the 4, I mean, it's shooting 4K at what, Andy? 24 frames? 30 frames?
24 frames, I think. It might be 30, but...
Dude,
Wow.
that's feature film quality right there.
Yeah,
Wow.
but you do have to consider sensor size, which is directly relates to like noise and grain that you get in the video.
Yeah.
You know, you can have really good like high resolution, but you might get a lot of grain and specks and like noise that is either luminance noise or color noise. Both of them. I mean, color noise looks a lot worse than luminance noise, but yeah. So just looking at videos, preferably on something like Vimeo, on tests that people do, because Vimeo has a higher resolution output, you can see a lot of the quality in that. So that's my biggest suggestion. But I think it's hard to beat GoPro in terms of quality. They definitely got their optics down. They improved everything. There's less fisheye. Was still the same wide-angle lens. I don't know how they did it. They just did it.
Yeah, that was the plus
with ProTune. Being able to use ProTune now as well, so you're getting a nice flat image that you can color correct in post and have a lot of leeway to work with it. And the new ones now, the 4s, I mean, you have white balance on there now, unlike the older ones like I have. So you can really do a lot of good stuff.
Well, cool. I'll definitely check out the GoPro. It's been a lot of people's go-to for a while for that action camera, and it makes sense. You know, they seem like pretty good units for what you pay.
Well, look up like the shootouts, Sony against GoPro, where they'll compare them side by side, and you know it all depends on what you want to do with it.
Yeah. Well,
You
cool.
know, that's the thing. You know, like for the money, I like my T3i. I'm not a big fan of taking it out in the woods when it's raining and stuff like that, and the setup, you know, because I'm sure, you know, Andy, when you film with a DSLR, I mean, there's a ton of setup. One, you got to make sure that you're on the mark so you don't step out of your depth of field.
Mm-hmm.
And things like that, especially when you're the one-man band trying to film and be the talent and showcase everything.
Yeah, and like if I got a lens that was built for my camera, which is about $700, $800 for the one I want to get, I could click on my face and it would just track, you know, my focus and all that stuff. But I'm using vintage lenses that are manual everything from your iris all the way to your focus and your zoom. So yeah, you got to be pretty spot on with that stuff.
Wow. Wow. Well, that's impressive, man, because you turn out some pretty good stuff. So kudos to you for getting it done right. That's cool.
I just look really weird when people might come across me on the trail or something like that, and I'm filming myself on a tripod. I look like an idiot. I look so stupid because I'm like talking to myself and like holding 2 dog leashes. I just look like an idiot. But it comes across good on YouTube, which I guess is the only thing that matters.
You get it done, man. I know people used to. I know it was like family and friends, and they were filming me at first. And now I'm kind of like you, man. I do a lot of it on my own now. I take my camera, I take a tripod, I find a location, I work with some stuff, and you got to do a one-man show sometimes because my off days are weird. I'm off usually first of the week, so there's nobody off that I know hardly, and so you got to do a one-man band kind of deal. So I feel you on that, man. I don't have that kind of equipment I'm lugging around, but yeah, I mean it can be. It's fun though. I've found out I really enjoy it once you get the hang of it. Pretty fun.
If you enjoy it, then you can do it forever. Because otherwise it's a job, and jobs suck.
Yeah, exactly. Well, sounds good, man.
John knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I have a lot of weekdays off due to my job, so unfortunately, it's great like when it's hunting season. It's great when I basically have the woods to myself, which is really nice. But the downside of that too is sometimes you just need it. It'd be nice to have just that extra person just to maybe help carry all the gear in. Andy can speak about that, and just have someone to bounce ideas off. Sometimes on a shot, we'll go out and I'll write down notes of what shots I want to do, but sometimes somebody will think of something. Hey, if you're doing this, why don't you try this? Oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, you definitely don't have that. That's for sure. Kind of a one-man band. That's fun though.
That was tough at SHOT Show, trying to shoot video like that and try to be sometimes in the shot too.
Yeah, I gave that up with mine. I was like, this year I didn't have any backup on that. I was like, it's just me and the phone. I'm just gonna get some interview. That's that. I couldn't. It was too much. So yeah, well, cool deal, man. Well, let me ask you. Let's say I guess it's getting probably a little close for me. Are there any main points or anything you wanna go over before we wrap it up, or?
Andy, you got anything you wanna?
Boxers or briefs? You look like a boxer kind of. Actually, you look like a boxer brief kind of guy. Kind of like relaxed, but still high speed, low drag. You know what I'm saying?
Getting it done, man. Getting it done.
Well, I'm a Navy guy, so I'll let you guess. Boxers or brief, Tran?
Commando. Trick question.
Well, no, I'm not going commando on the ship. Come on. Tighty whities, man. Tighty whities in boot camp. Everybody wore tighty whities. LT Survival can probably tell you that when he was in the military. It's tighty whities.
Man, that's a raw deal right there.
Provide support. You need it.
Oh man.
That's what makes these live shows fun, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know what topics are going to come up, and you got to keep it fresh. Somebody said tactical banana hammock.
Yep. Someone's got to make a multicam.
Cryptech, yeah, John, you could have multicam. Andy, ATAX AU, I'll take my Mandrake. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, good to go.
Which actually, Andy, like on another note too about the camouflage, I didn't take you for an ATAX guy. So I remember you liked your solid colors. So I mean that's kind of cool to me. I didn't know that.
Yeah, if I'm gonna go for a camo, it would probably be ATAX of some sort. Otherwise, the solid colors are good to go. But a lot of the times it's just like what I can afford. If I'm at a surplus store or something like that, I'll just get that and be happy with it. No regrets.
Well, the Boxers Are Brief has started a buzz on the YouTube chat side.
Oh, dear.
I want you guys to know.
Awesome. Awesome.
LT Survival says that would be dangerous and dropping your soap.
Oh man.
That's
You know
why
what
they
they
have
say.
soap on a rope, LT.
You know
Soap.
what they say about the Navy and why they use powdered soap.
That was a good one. I had not heard that one.
I was in Airedale on an aircraft carrier, so we. No.
I
No.
like it. Powdered soap.
Takes longer to pick up.
Wow. Actually, I was going to mention too on a lot of people ask me on my Cryptech videos about price points, and what I want to tell anybody who's watching and who maybe is interested in getting into more Cryptech is if you're thrifty, if you look around a lot online, you can catch some pretty good sales. I know there's one. It's called a store called Stillwater Fly Shop. It's stillwaterflyshop.com. They run a lot of sales on Cryptech. So I get stuff from everywhere from eBay, Cabela's, all kinds of stuff. So Andy's having some fun.
It's a nasal cannula, EMT.
Oh, I thought you were trying to look like Bane from Batman.
No. It's been a long day for Mr. Tran.
Sounds like it, man.
Well, hey, since we're closing in on the hour 20 mark,
yeah.
If anybody on the YouTube chat side has any questions, if they want to do a quick rapid fire here, we'll throw out that on the table. Just keep it clean. Remember, kids do watch the channels.
I'm gonna show.
I keep forgetting about that.
You got to try to keep it a little bit clean. Which one are you showing?
Do you guys like these? I don't know if you can tell well. You can see that the beads by I think it's Schmuckatelli. Love these little lanyard beads, man. Beautiful.
That's pretty neat.
That one's called the Mind Skull, and it's still green skull with extra. Oh yeah, you love that, Andy. Oh yeah, get you some of that. Yeah, baby. Now this is the most premium folding knife I own. This is a Pole Force. I actually talked to the designer. It's made by Lion Steel. I actually met the guy from Lion Steel. They were there. It's from Italy, made in Italy. And man, that's a heck of a knife, man. And for those of you out there, I don't know if you actually. One last thing I want to know: do you guys like Andy or John? You guys like automatic knives? Just a curious question.
I like it, but I think there's an issue of the legality here in California.
Oh yeah, so they're not legal in California, are they?
I don't think so.
What about where you live, Andy? Are they legal up there in Washington?
They're legal to own, not to carry. Once I get my commission, I'll be good to go. But I'm a fixed blade guy. I don't know, because a high quality automatic knife is way more expensive than a high quality fixed blade knife.
Yeah.
Now I have SOG automatic knives, which I'll probably carry, and those ones are really good. They have a good solid lockup, and the action's really fast. But yeah, for the most part, probably just go for a fixed blade. Also, because the SOG ones, because they're so fast, if you don't have a solid lock on them, they'll flick out of your hand, and it's embarrassing. So yeah, fixed blade for me.
Well, cool. No, I get a lot of people in the store. They love in Alabama. You can carry pretty much you can carry and do anything that you want. It's almost ridiculous how much stuff except gambling is legal. But people ask me a lot about automatic knives, and I just tell them that I think a lot of it's kind of gimmicky. I use a folding knife, and then and then I like fixed blades. So I'm kind of with you, Andy, man. I like my fixed blades. They're hard to break. That's for sure.
I think I would fancy a really nice quality OTF, just because you can maintain a really solid grip on it whilst pushing it out. But that's about it.
So this one came in the mail today, new in the 2015 line from Schrade.
Okay.
I really like that profile, and I like the color of the scales. And I talked to my daughter, and I think she's going to be a guest on the channel to review they sent me like 3 or 4 folders. So we're gonna bring in. I want to get a female's perspective on some of these blades.
Yeah.
Makes
A little bit of something different in the channel.
cool.
Always trying to shake it up. Here's a little miniature version of that. So a little pocket knife. And this is kind of reminiscent of, they had a ceramic blade one that they came out with last year, I believe. And my wife now has taken that from me, and that's her everyday carry. So, yes, even the girls do everyday carry as well here at the Wingman compound.
Sounds good.
That's a little sneak peek of some stuff coming up here in the near future. But, let me see real quick if we have any questions here. Let's see. You carry permit. Oh, somebody asked if they could carry a gun, and Anthony said he lives in Arizona. The Constitution's his concealed weapons permit. I love that.
Good to go.
I need to move to AZ. Oh, what's Justin showing here? Yeah.
Oh, Glock, man. My Glock 45. I'm carrying too much stuff. I got to start dumping some of this. Times. Got my Hofner blade. Oh, man. I'm good. We like
Man, you had more stuff on you than when I gear checked. Nothing fancy.
Yeah, man. I had a hard time flying out to Las Vegas, man. I hated to get on that plane without a knife. Oh, hated it. Hated it.
Michael Perkins asked if I still had the Black Ops knife that he's put his through hell. That's one of the Smith and Wesson knives that had an assisted opening that I did a review on. I have that. It still works very well. Some people have had an issue with the assisted opening, but I haven't. I probably flicked that thing open 10,000 times now. No problem.
Cool deal, man.
Right on.
Carla says that it's glad to hear that that I want a woman's view. She says, I myself have small hands, and it would be nice to hear her take. Well, my daughter has like freakishly small hands. We call her like little T-Rex hands because her hands are so freakishly small. But yeah, I'm gonna get her point of view on that.
That's funny. License to carry small arms.
Well, yeah, you know, in about that, it's hard for her to shoot certain pistols.
Yeah.
You know, but the new Smith & Wesson Shield, the single stack 9, because her hand's so small, it fits perfect in her hand. So any women out there looking for a weapon to carry, the new Shield from Smith & Wesson, the single stack, it's a solid shooter.
Good to know.
Anthony wants to know when I'm going to get out of California.
Once the water runs out.
As soon as the water runs out, Anthony, you and I are going to be bunking together, buddy.
Won't be much longer, huh? What'd you say, about 10 years possibly?
Probably. I don't know. If some TV show gives Andy and I this hot series where we get to travel around the world, then maybe, you know, maybe we can consider moving out of California. I have family here right now, so it's tough. So, you know, I'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, you got responsibilities.
There's a lot of beautiful places out here in the United States that that I would love to live, and hopefully one day I'll be able to make that happen. But California is a beautiful state. Just they get a little crazy with the knife and gun.
Heat and the dehydration.
Yeah, we just got to figure out the water thing.
I guess I'll just have to drink beer instead. I guess I don't know.
Michelob Ultra, yes. Schmoley asks, "What's a good 4-man tent with a big headroom?"
A tarp.
Right.
Yeah, that room you want.
Yeah.
All my tents are 2-man tents because I do a lot of backpacking.
Yeah.
I don't have a 4-man tent.
Yeah.
You have that teepee.
I have a teepee. That's like an 8-man shelter, though. Yeah, teepee, I guess. You can light fires in it.
If we go bow hunting on your property, dude, you need to set that teepee up. I want to stay in that teepee.
No, it's going to be set up. We're going to have fire in there. Probably a couple cots.
That'll work.
How big is this teepee? How many people can it fit in it?
About 8, if you want to get cozy with it. Yeah. If you want to spread out, like 4 or 5 people can be in it. No problem.
Wow.
With the fire in the center, too.
What's the material? What the like some kind of fabric or?
It's canvas. Marine grade canvas. Yeah.
I bet it's pretty heavy though.
I mean, the poles, yeah, because there's like the poles are 20 foot long, and I have like 15 or 16 or something like that poles. Then the tarp itself is probably around 50 pounds with the liner in it.
Wow.
So. Yeah, I guess it is kind of heavy, but for what it is, it's not too bad.
Okay.
Anthony White's asking me if I've heard anything about the movement to split California into 5 states. I have. I don't think it's gaining that much traction. One, I don't think Congress would approve it because that would be 10 extra senators, and I don't think they're going to allow that to happen. So I can understand that because everybody's broken up. You know, by geographical areas, there's certain social and economic issues that are in play, but I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Plus, we have to redesign the flag and all that stuff.
Well, a Wingman logo would make a hell of a good flag down here for SoCal.
Yeah, or like I could dig that. Or Buddy Jesus.
Or I'm sporting the InnerBark shirt. So a shameless plug to Andy, who sells these.
I like it.
Check them out if you're an InnerBark fan and you want to show your appreciation for the channel. But trust me, guys, we contrary to unpopular belief, we don't get rich from YouTube.
If you can read that. Always been a brass man, baby.
There we go.
I do need to get one of those shirts, though. That's a cool looking shirt, man. InnerBark one.
Yeah, just simple. We'll have more complicated, cooler designs coming out here pretty soon. But
now, Justin, with that said, do you do any reloading?
12 gauge. 12 gauge reloading. Not in a while, but my dad and my dad and my brothers and I, we used to do that a pretty good bit. I haven't done any rifle, and you've done rifle. You do rifle reloading, don't you?
Do rifle and pistol. I don't do shotgun though.
Okay.
Because the shotgun rounds are so cheap, I can't justify because I don't shoot enough, for that to pay off.
When we used to bird hunt down here, like dove and quail, we shot a lot of 12 gauge rounds. So after a certain amount, but you're right, it's so cheap now that there's not as much point. What about you, John? Do you reload or?
No, but the son-in-law and I are thinking about getting into it, especially now that I finally got my boyhood 30-30, my Model 94 Winchester, back from when I went to Maine last year. I'd love to reload. I need to get me have an AR, a 5.56, but I'd love to get some. I hunt pigs with a Mosin Nagant, and I would love to get maybe a 30-06 or a 308. Maybe a Remington Model 700. I don't know. I'll have to ask Andy on that. How his trigger job went on that.
Yeah, I haven't put it together yet, but I'll definitely let you know.
Well, cool. Well, cool. Oh man, I'm tired.
Well,
what time is it over there, guys? About 7?
7:02.
It is 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Okay.
So with that, we're coming up on an hour and a half. What do you say we guys wind it down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
got some incident reports I got to write.
There you go. You guys want to say anything before we say goodnight to the folks?
Thank you everyone for watching. Justin, it's very nice talking to you. I think this is the first time we talked with voice. because we've typed a lot, but we haven't talked. So it's very nice meeting you.
Yeah, you too, man. I
John, always a pleasure.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah, no, it's been awesome. Actually, I'm gonna let one of my friends in. We can wrap it up here. I'll be right back with you guys. I'm getting people knocking on the door over here.
Leave him outside. Can't be that cold.
It's a live show. He wanted to be on the live show, get a quick cameo. So
Hey, you got one of those umbrellas.
since he came in, he's got to get on camera now.
Yeah, hey, it's a live show. Come on now, show them out and do all.
Dude, you
Product placement. Product
Gotta
This
placement.
is my non-tactical buddy over here.
I'm not tactical at all.
He's not tactical.
When
Like,
did you get?
huh? Oh, I'll show you. I don't know, a few weeks ago.
Hey, we love our non-tactical buddies as well.
I
Everyone
bought him a knife every year for the past 5 years, and he's managed to hold on to some of them.
I think okay, I have the HK.
I got him an H and K folder. What you got on you now?
Ewan.
Okay,
I have the black
the
one.
CDC check him real quick. What's he carrying right now?
I don't have anything. I just came back from an education place, so I can't.
Fail. Fail.
Actually,
Yeah.
I really do remove my knife when I go to Appleton.
Man, that's
Oh, you just came back from school?
A tutoring place, so yeah,
he tutors. Yeah.
effectively.
Okay, we'll give you a pass there because of the over political correctness. People would freak out and all that good stuff.
Fair enough.
Okay,
So who's on here right now? What is it?
Let's see. Andy's from Washington State. John, the guy with the goatee, is in Southern California, and then I'm in Alabama. So, but anyway, well, I guess I hope you guys wrap it up. So, Andy, your knife is awesome. I'll have to try it out sometime, but everybody who's bought it loves it. So, and I love the spear point on it. It's a pretty wicked knife. John, you better design a knife, and I'm going to try to design a knife. Actually, probably a tomahawk. I'll throw that out there. I like tomahawks. So, we'll
We
see.
need more tomahawk designs out there.
We do. I think so.
There's tons of knives, so we gotta get.
I'm working on something right now, but I'm too insecure to talk about it right now.
Well, cool. Well, good luck with it, John.
So it's in the I've done a few drawings, but I don't know yet. I don't know because there's so many things. It's hard to say that this doesn't look like X. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's pretty tough.
We'll just
But
have
hey,
fun.
With that said, we're on the hour-and-a-half mark. I want to thank everyone for being on the show this week. We covered quite a few bases, from tidy whiteys to knives to SHOT Show to hunting and fishing. It's been a great time. As always, thanks to folks for coming in and participating in the live chat, and we'll be back soon. Thank you all for watching. This is Wingman. Check it out, folks. Take care. We'll catch you on the next one.
See ya.